Of the accident. We're crossing to him live now. Mweli, any news on the driver of the bakkie that crashed into Mabuza?
Good morning to you and the viewers. Yes, as we have said on your intro, we are at the scene of the crash that happened yesterday. What I can tell you is that we came here expecting that we'll meet with the families, the family members of Joseph Mabuza, and also the officials of the Department of Safety, Security and Liaison in the province, because they said they're going to come to the scene here. But what I can update you is that ever since we tried to get information this morning with the MEC for Security, Safety and Liaison in the province here, who actually was with Joseph Mabuza yesterday, he said that they are still trying to establish as to who is the owner of this bakkie that was involved in an accident with the motorbike of Joseph Mabuza. I'm not sure whether my camera person can just show you a bit. That is exactly where the accident happened, and those markings there, we can see that the markings just this other side are the markings where the motorbike was, and also that other side, that is where the bakkie was. We are hoping that as the day progresses, we'll get more information, because police are still trying to investigate in terms of the cause of this crash. But preliminary results of the investigation, we are told that the driver of the bakkie made a U-turn on this road whilst Joseph Mabuza was approaching, and then that's when the crash happened. So we are later today going to get some more details in terms of an update, or perhaps the MEC, as we're expecting him to come over here, we're hoping that we'll get some more information on the latest.
Mweli, there is a global drive that's driven by an organization called the Committee to Protect Journalists, based in Boston, where they look at the effects of such events on journalists when you're reporting on such a story, especially a person you spoke to personally. How has this affected you as a journalist?
I can tell you, I'm still trying to come to terms with what I've experienced yesterday. I never thought I'll ever experience such in my lifetime. As we are saying, yesterday we did an interview with Joseph Mabuza. Actually, the crash happened less than 30 minutes before. Less than 30 minutes after we did the live interview with him. I was working with my colleague Pepile Gunene, who was actually interviewing Joseph Mabuza, and I was operating the camera yesterday. We were working with him for the rest of the day together with the MEC, and I remember very well, after that live interview, we spoke to say that we should go and have some lunch together after working for so long during that day. But we didn't know that as he was riding behind us, because we were following each other, we didn't know that we were not going to make it to that lunch. So it's very sad. I mean, having to do a live interview with that person, and then minutes later you are told that the person has been involved in an accident and is in a critical condition, and just few minutes after you are told, no, Joseph Mabuza is no more. Remember, this is a person we've worked with for so many years. He's been in government communications for more than a decade. He's been a journalist himself before joining government for many years. He's been working in print. And I'm sure you can tell from the people you speak to, not only us as journalists, but everyone who has worked with Joseph Mabuza will tell you that his level of professionalism can't be doubted. He was a very humble person. He would have advised you not only about your work, but also life in general, social issues and all that. So he was not just an ordinary person from the side of us as journalists and some other communicators in government. So I can tell you, I'm still trying to come to terms, and actually it's unbelievable that he is gone.
You say you're shocked by the fact that you and your team had just spoken to him, but also the irony is not lost on this development that you were talking to him about safety on the roads, and this is the very thing that killed him.
Yes, Joseph Mabuza was one person who was always available. I'm sure, I doubt if there's any journalist who has worked with him who will tell you that he or she was trying to make an inquiry and he never got a response from Joseph Mabuza. I would like to challenge that person because Joseph Mabuza was always available. That is why I spoke earlier of his level of professionalism. It's unmatched because he was always available. So those are some of the things that I think as journalists we will remember about him. The provincial government as well released a statement yesterday from the office of the Premier describing what kind of a man he was, also commenting on the level of professionalism, and also to say that this is a person who was very humble, speaking to everyone. He had that special way of relating to us as journalists, to other colleagues in the media and communications fraternity. So I can say that it is indeed a huge loss, but we are hoping that many people who have worked with him will also take lessons from the kind of person he was. Obviously, us as journalists, we are not going to let him down. I can say sometimes we are not supposed to be attached to a story, but as we spoke earlier, it's a person I've just worked with him, and minutes later you are told it's gone. It's really shattering on our side as well.
Mweli, have you been able to reach out to the family? How are they holding up?
It's a very difficult moment to the family, because yesterday when we tried to link up with his wife, we couldn't because of the situation. But the MEC for Safety, Security and Liaison managed to finally get through. I can tell from the conversation they had that it was a very difficult moment. Joseph Mabuza was also on social media. We could always get his updates on social media, and he just came back from vacation with his wife, and it was a long vacation. You could tell because from in that week of the vacation, you could tell that there is some space. Joseph Mabuza is not at work. We're just having a conversation also as colleagues about that. I know you can notice that Joseph Mabuza is not at work because of the way things are now happening, because we knew that each and every time we contact him, we'll get what we want. But sadly, it's a different story now, and I'm sure that perhaps I said to my colleagues it will even be difficult to work this December, because you know that during this time of the year we always work with him. He's always available. He did say that he was tired yesterday, he wanted to go home, but unfortunately he found himself at work, because we are always comfortable working with him, because we knew we'll always get what we want. So but there's nothing we can do. He's gone. What we can do is just to take lessons from what he taught us, the level of professionalism, as I said, the humbleness and all that. And I hope and believe that the family will find strength in God during this time.
Mweli, when the mid-festive season preliminary road safety report came out last week, Gauteng was the only province that remained constant, and Mpumalanga was one of the ones where the numbers were going up. What's the situation now?
The situation now, just not so long ago, when the department released the stats, they were saying that the number of people, comparing the period of last year and this year, they said the number has decreased. But unfortunately, after the release of the statistics, there were some road crashes in the Delmas area. There's some people who died there, and also this side of Libombo border post. So the number of people who died on the roads has increased now. So that is also the message we used to get from the side of Joseph Mabuza. He was a champion of safety, if I may put it that way, because he was always in the forefront, encouraging people to obey the rules of the road, because of the so many crashes that we went out in the field to cover with him. He was also that kind of a person who will sort of give you some I can say counseling in a way, because we have seen so many traumatic situations on the roads, but he was always there to be on your side, to say that this is how you have to handle that situation. So now seeing him being part of the very fatalities that he was talking strongly against, it's very sad, and I hope that his message will sink in to some motorists who are on the road this festive season, because now that message he has been preaching, and I hope that people will not forget about that, and they'll still obey the rules of the road so that they can be safe.
Mweli Masilela, thank you so much for that